Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. In support of that mission, we do these free mentoring roundtables week after week after week. Since 2008, we've been doing this, and this is the 618th roundtable. The event is being recorded. Every single roundtable recording is available on our YouTube channel. On Twitter, we're at 1M1M, and that's Romana. Today's hashtag is 1M1M. These are the call-in instructions. If you want to call in and talk, we have a couple of pitches first. Just want to set some expectations on entrepreneur pitches. We are on your side. This is a safe working session. You don't need to be nervous. You don't need to be defensive. I'm here to work with you. And if you disagree with what I have to say, that's your prerogative. This is your venture. So you do whatever you want with your venture. I just will give you feedback based on what my experience suggests. All right, so Martin Aker from Oslo is our first pitch. Martin, please unmute your line and
Yes,
let's
hi.
go.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you
go
for
ahead.
this opportunity to pitch this. So we are a company that are making clothing for people with hyperhidrosis and or excessive sweating. So you can take next slide. It's about, I would say, about 5% of the global population has the sickness hyperhidrosis. And on top of that, I would say 30 to 35% struggle with mild sweating that triggers by factors, heat, humidity, stress, different kind of things. Also, it's like this, the climate is getting warmer. That's not a good thing, actually, but you can say for us that people sweat more. But this is why we started doing clothing. So what we do is we can make everything actually. Today we make undershirts, t-shirts, polo shirts, dress shirts that hide and the sweat stains and the odor from the clothing. Hence, you can use a light blue dressed color shirt and go to a meeting, or you can be out in the sun and you will sweat in the inside, but you will not have the visibility of the sweat outside. And this sweat is like kind of comes from the nervous system, and even if you are in a position that you feel you're starting to sweat and you should not do it in this social setting, then you will probably sweat more. Like with blushing, probably a little bit similar.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you blush and you feel you should not do it, then you probably blush more. So
That's
for
just
many people,
I think people should blush.
sorry?
I'm joking. I said blush is a nice thing. If people
Yeah, by all means, but sometimes it could be embarrassing. I don't know if we can compare blushing with sweating, but I think that
So is it material? Your innovation is a material?
yeah, the material we use Japanese fabrics. That is, we infuse this technology in the yarn itself, and it's very special. It takes a lot of time, and we have competitors, but I think what we do is we have all our sweat blocking. So some competitors has just underarm patches or like sweat underarms. We cover the all upper body, and we can do also in underwear. So that's very few that do this all over upper body protection. So today we have the most men on our customer list. This is probably due to that it's a bit easier to do for men because we are kind of we kind of wear more the same than women. But like you have this blouse on you now, very nice. But you can also use an undershirt under the under your blouse. This should be no problem. But we can make, as I say, the only thing holding us back, to be honest, is the capital now. We are on the fundraising now, and seeking investors to do another round because the material, I mean, it's not expensive, but it's more expensive than a normal t-shirt because of our added value.
So what? Hang on one second. What are these figures from? How many customers do you have? It seems to be you're already in business, you're selling, etc. So tell
Yeah,
me.
we have a couple of thousand, of 1,500 customers. We're repeating orders. So this is based on the interesting is that our main market is Europe and UK, Ireland. We are based in Norway. We have our warehouse in Sweden because Norway is outside the EU, so it's easier to have it within the EU regulate. But we have the most clicks from the United States and Canada and Australia on Google. So it's a bit strange to be honest, but that's very good because if it's warm in one country or cold in another, we would always have kind of customers.
But you're not getting orders from US and Canada. You
A
said
little bit, but I think that's the main issue that I want into the US because I want to have a warehouse there or a hub because I think the things frightening the customer is perhaps the freight cost from Sweden to US. I think the clothing I feel is affordable, but I think they back off because of probably the freight cost.
yeah, freight cost is huge.
You're telling me, or you mean you as a general as a general?
I mean, shipping is a big cost in e-commerce.
It's
E-commerce.
I'm trying to find solutions that I had a meeting yesterday actually with a Norwegian consulate or in US in Philadelphia actually, and we're trying to find kind of a producer or some company that can sew it in US, and we ship them and we can ship the fabrics from Japan, and we can have the hub there. It's we're looking into it, but yeah, shipping is totally it's very costly today, and it's getting after the COVID is getting even worse.
So where is the customer coming from? SEO is the primary?
Sorry?
Is your customer acquisition primarily SEO?
Yes, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Google. So we are today we are a B2C, but I don't think I want to be a combination of B2C and B2B with some shop in different brand stores, perhaps in US mainly because it's a big market. So that's my goal opportunity, my intention to try to get that. And our market opportunity is huge. I mean, the total addressable market is about 400 million pound. I use pound because this is also another issue because we use Shopify, and Shopify in Norway is strange. Then we cannot use dollar and euro. So we're gonna change. We're gonna move the company to Sweden because then we can use dollar and euro. But as you know, why I put it in pound. And I would say our available market is probably around 40 million, perhaps more. But then I have a easy calculation. If it's 5% worldwide that has an disorder and sweat a lot, and if we can get 0.1% of this, then and they buy for £100 a year, then this is available turnover. Today we are able to handle 4 million, I would say. The cost is then pound. It's 39. I don't know what's that in dollar. Yeah, so about the same, a little bit less. Polo shirt is 79. Yeah, you see that the numbers. I think is it totally affordable prices. People buy them. We're pushing. Our biggest issue is actually, as you say, the freight cost. We're working on it, and today we use UPS. We are getting better prices, but.
Do you have any understanding of the 2,000 customers who are buying your products? Is there a way of life or a psychographic?
No, I don't. I don't know if they have hyperdrosis, but I do know they have a problem with sweating. So we're not only target.
What I'm asking is something a bit different.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
So, for example, I happen to be a dancer, and
Yeah.
sweat is a big problem for dancers. I don't have this problem. I actually don't sweat at all. So But I know this is a problem for a lot of people who sweat a lot, and you know, in a dance world, which actually is quite big, this is a huge problem.
Mm.
So my question to you is, in that 2000, what kinds of lifestyles are you finding? Because all this is going to be important if you try to scale,
Mm.
is to figure out how to do really efficient customer acquisition, right? So if your target audience, I'm just using an example, if your target audience is dancers, then you need to do SEO around people who are looking for clothing, no sweat clothing, dancers looking for no sweat clothing, and you need to kind of navigate those communities and figure out how to get this product known in those communities. And that's probably going to be, a few 100,000 customers right there.
Mm.
Something like that. What I'm saying is that there are sub-segments of, is
Yes.
it people who sweat a lot during exercise, which
Mm.
which is more acceptable but not necessarily pleasant.
Mm.
What other lifestyle categories trigger a lot of sweating, where sweating is a problem?
I totally agree, and we need to do that. We are still a small company. We haven't done that, but this is absolutely we have to do that to check our customer base, what kind of environment they're in, or what kind of job they do. Do a questionnaire and try to ask them what they do. So I agree, because that's easier to target the marketing and less costly.
So I think it's your primary reason for coming here is to discuss financing, yeah?
In my opinion, that's the only one holding us back. This Japanese factory, they are really they are the best, and I know it for sure. But today Asia is like 50-50 or 30-70. We have to buy open or all in front. It takes 6 to 7 months to get it in our warehouse.
So what are the financial projections in 5 years? So 2023, we are approaching the end of 2023. You will not get funded until 2024. If you do get funded, what is the trajectory of this business? If you're talking about traditional venture funding,
Mm.
you're going to need to go from 0 to $100 million, or let's say whatever you are, $200 million from the point of funding in 5 years. And can you do that?
In 5 years, yes, I believe so.
7 years max.
Sorry?
5 to 7 years maximum.
Yeah, I believe we can. It's a big steep on every. Sorry?
If you think you can, I will tell you what the investors are going to not like. $400 million total addressable markets with competition does not yield that kind of velocity businesses. To yield that kind of velocity businesses, you need to be in a $1 billion or $10 billion, $1 billion minimum TAM. So investors are going to push back on your ability to get to that kind of level. There is a category of investors emerging at this point that are doing brand roll-ups.
Okay.
In e-commerce, in niche e-commerce.
Yeah.
So you get to a certain point, 4 million, 5 million, and you show a trajectory of reasonable growth, and these companies are rolling up these brands, and they have a bunch of brands under their portfolio.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch of questions they're going to ask you. What about Amazon Marketplace?
Yeah, and I can tell you that's back to where we're situated. That's why we're gonna move the company to Sweden, because we are not able to have Amazon on Shopify or in our company because we are we are in Norway. That's a very strange thing, but to be able to sell on Amazon, we need to have a Swedish owner or be a Swedish company. So that's a thought I have to be on Amazon. I'm a little bit skeptic, to be honest, but yes, that's a market that we absolutely should be in.
If you're in niche e-commerce, you cannot be skeptical about Amazon Marketplace because a huge percentage of global e-commerce, including e-commerce, happens on Amazon in the marketplace. The question really is there a gap? Like, are people looking for no sweat clothing on Amazon? You should do the research and figure out whether you can position yourself in that and get meaningful results.
Mm.
So that's number one. And number two is Amazon has all kinds of fulfillment services and all this that you're talking about are bottlenecks. You have to pay, but it's, per transaction payment. It's not like you have to pay a lot in advance. I think you should look into that. Amazon has the fulfillment side as well. So, you could conceivably set up something with Amazon and be in many different countries relatively quickly by using their global distribution capability. So you should study, you should research. See, if I'm an investor and I'm talking to you as a niche e-commerce entrepreneur and you haven't really looked into what Amazon Marketplace can do for you, that raises a red flag for me. So before you go talk to an investor, you should very thoroughly research Amazon Marketplace and be ready with your answers on how you are going to leverage Amazon Marketplace. And if you don't want to leverage Amazon Marketplace, tell me why not.
I told you we are willing to do that, but as a company with setup and ownership in Norway, we're not able to get on Amazon.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you don't research it. You can research what needs to be done sitting
we
in.
have researched it, and what I told you was that we need to move it's not a big deal to move the company
No,
to
but you're
Sweden.
contemplating setting up warehouses in the US and setting up warehouses elsewhere. That may not be necessary. Setting up
I'm not
a big expensive affair.
I'm not talking about the warehouses now. I'm talking about juridical, where the company is to be able to be on Amazon, we need to move it to Sweden, which is different.
That's a bureaucratic.
That's only bureaucratic. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's a little bureaucratic thing. I'm talking strategy. If I'm going to invest in this company, I need to be convinced that you know what you're doing. And if you cannot answer very clear cut how you're going to leverage Amazon, and or why you cannot leverage Amazon, that doesn't give me confidence about an e-commerce business. So that's something that you need to research and study much more carefully. And you're going to need to create a credible pitch that you can go from 0 to $100 million in 5 to 7 years, or you show that trajectory. And even if you get acquired in 2 years or 3 years by one of these roll-up private equity houses, that's fine, but you need to show a fast growth trajectory. This is not enough, basically, because you're not, if you raise money in 2024, what does the next 5 to 7 years look like? And what is the strategy behind it? It's a projection is not just a few numbers. The projection has strategy behind it, and you will be able to defend that strategy. In the meantime, since you do have transactions and you are selling, you should look at some of these fintech lending capabilities. Like American Express has that. A company called On Deck Capital has that. Intuit has that. And I don't know whether, what the bureaucratic issues are with Norway and Sweden and so forth, but you need to research that and figure out. They will give you have enough transactions for them to give you, credit, basically. So you can do that.
Okay.
You're ready for where you are. You're not ready to go out to seek venture capital, but you can get credit.
That's true.
Where you are, I think you can get credit. And these fintech credit houses, they very quickly approve credit applications, and I think you have what you need to get that kind of credit.
Okay. Yeah. And no, I agree. We will not get venture funds, or we are big fair to do.
Definitely not yet.
No. That I know. We're seeking mostly we're seeking private investors or less, private investors in the Nordic. Sweden and Denmark has more experience with clothing than Norway has, so I'm seeking also there in these countries.
Maybe, but I strongly recommend you look into what I just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because in niche e-commerce, this kind of financing is being used extensively.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very efficient, quick way of funding. I mean, finding investors, individual investors, is not going to be an easy process either, unless it's from your network, people who know you.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of, because you have transactions, based on those transactions, you can get the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's my.
Could you just in the chat name the companies you mentioned?
American Express, Intuit.
I know American's okay, but sorry, one more time.
American Express, Intuit, On Deck Capital.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good luck.
Okay, thank you so much.
Spend more time afterwards explaining how to use 1M1M if that's something you're looking for.
Okay, so I just be here and listen to Emmanuel, or?
Please do. Please do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Emmanuel, is that what you go by, Emmanuel?
Yes, yes, that's me.
All right, please go ahead. Mia.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Akandwanaho, and I'll be presenting to MIAH. I'll be presenting MIAH where we are digitizing hostel operations and simplifying student experiences. Next slide, please. Yeah, so for MIAH stems from understanding the student problems that they face when they joining university. Right away, students, as they're joining university, they have to look for a place or student accommodation within Kampala, all the way from all corners of Uganda. And along the way, they are faced with challenges with where they are faced with brokers, and at times they can be scammed. Oftentimes, even if they do not have a relative or someone on campus who can guide them on the most affordable or convenient places of accommodation, it becomes challenging. So you find they can spend close to a week looking for a convenient place. So you find over 100,000 students that join university have a similar problem. On the other hand, we have hostels that are always providing student accommodation with such services. And these hostels are always looking for a way on how they could also attain a higher clientele. Here, when you look at grade A and grade B hostels, they always want to achieve full occupancy. In my research, I was able to realize that most of these rely on Excel to track the student payments, which can also be hectic, that requires extra manpower where they have to hire another person to do that. Next slide. Yeah, in this, we are looking at using MIAH, where we're building a MIAH, which is an online marketplace, as well as a management system for both students and hostel managers, where you can be able to book online, you can be able to find and book a hostel. You can be able to track on the side of the hostel, can be able to track their performances from one semester to the other. They can easily, as a hostel owner, can be able to track their payments to avoid any issues of theft with the custodians they put in charge that do normally have issues with declaring the actual amounts. And also in terms of resolving conflicts between students and custodian when it comes to tracking payments. Next. Yeah, so when you visited there, it's now still a website where you have to do as a student, you create your website, and then you can be able to access a hostel of your choice. And then when you're able to send a request, upon confirmation by the hostel, then you can proceed to make payment, and your room is confirmed within no minute, without taking the 7 days a week or having to move around to look for a place that has a convenient place that fits your budget. All this can be done with your mobile phone. Our target we're targeting, one is international students who are always coming into the country. We look at freshers that are from high school joining university, and also still continuing students who at times may want to change from one hostel to the other. And also, on the other hand, there are also parents who are always looking to pay for their own students. That could be still international students, also freshers. They just want to confirm where the children or children will be sleeping. And then lastly are the hostel managers who are always still need a better solution on how they can run their hostels proper, reducing operational cost. Our market size, we have seen with the rapid urbanization and population growth within Kampala, there's been a growing number of people who are joining university that has risen from 100,000 to over 365,000 people joining universities. Next slide. Our go-to market strategy, understanding that we have a first move advantage. Our goal too is our very first hostels. We are looking at offering them a discount on the package to be able to use the system to try it out, to understand how it works, because we understand most of these hostels are used to the rudimentary or manual ways. So we want them to have one trial for every semester, one semester, so that they can be able to understand how the system can be beneficial to them. And then on the students, we're definitely using social media to be able to reach out to them. We also know there are events around campus where there are exhibition or cultural events that we can always, that are touch points or points of sale. And lastly, we're also keen on partnerships where we know there are different student bodies, international student bodies that gather students who are always in need of such places. Also looking at still high school students that are soon completing as also a point of sale that we could be able to onboard them. Next slide, please. Yes, so our business model is we're mainly looking at on the B2B, which is mainly the hostels, to be able to appreciate this software where they can provide their rooms online and they can be manage them online. And in that, the student's experience is made easier, and also in the end, they can easily track their performance and their inflows or cash inflows. So my question to you as interested in having this conversation is, one is looking at these type of authors where most of them are used to the rudimentary ways of doing things. How do you onboard them? Also, what would be the pricing strategy? Because that is the most strong parts that I've been having, because most of them, they get excited about the product, but then you reach a point, they're asking, what is your price? So I get to be debating, okay, do you charge this? How do you come up with a price model?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think you have the ingredients of doing what we call a SaaS enabled
Yeah.
marketplace here.
Yeah.
So your offering to the hostel managers is going to be a SaaS product. That's a subscription business model.
Yeah.
Then you also so first and foremost, you have to get the hostel managers going. You have to get a bunch of hostel managers going, and then you need to recruit the students one by one for each hostel situation. You have to get that going, seeded and so forth. But then you can start also a marketplace model where for each hostel and each university where you have critical mass and this system is working, you can charge transaction fees for each booking, which is a marketplace model. Marketplace is to charge 10 to 15% in commission, booking commission.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to start with, you said you want to do 5 hostels and you want to go on and you want to, so those 5 hostels, if you want to give them for free, give them a free trial for a limited amount of time. And then you can charge them, then you create the communities around and you start charging them commissions as soon as they are up and running. And then you start charging both. As you get customers, as you get the hostels and you start charging them subscription fee, then you also charge them transaction fee. That's how you get each of these going. And what I would like to understand, or like you to understand, I have to understand, but it's more you have to understand, what is the average revenue that each hostel is going to generate for you in subscription fee and then in transaction fee?
But in terms of subscription, what I was looking at an annual fees was $1,500 to be paid. Come again?
Yeah, you can do annual, you can do monthly, whatever. I mean, depends on. I guess hostel enrollments happen once a year or twice a year.
Yeah, they happen okay, because it's an academic year, so within an academic year, there are two
With an annual
semesters.
membership, annual subscription fee is probably the right model. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yes, I
don't
was looking.
the number I cannot tell you because you have to do the ROI analysis to determine that number. If you're looking to learn how to do pricing, we have that in our curriculum. You're welcome to learn that from our curriculum, but
Yeah.
you have to do the put your pricing through. I'm giving you the business model, but the pricing you're going to need to figure out what that is going to entail. How many hostels are we talking in Uganda? How many hostels in all of Africa? How many hostels?
I could say in Uganda, because when you look at their main public universities that are high number, about 5. So you find within every university has about 30 and above. So you can look at, they can go up to 200.
Okay, so a couple of hundred in Uganda and all of Africa. Are we talking what, 2,000?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So that's your, and then you said the number of students in Africa is 14.6 million. And that's
Yeah.
14.6 million total students, yeah?
Yes, that are at universities.
At any given time, okay. Well, I think there is a lot of transaction fee that is going to come out of that. So basically, you're going to need to do some analysis to come up with the pricing. I gave you the business model. I think you should figure out the pricing using the method of coming up with pricing. How do you get hostels to trust? Give them a free trial and get them students and get them up and running, get them to use your product and get them students, and they will start trusting you. Is there competition?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So then start executing. The best way to stay ahead of competition is start executing really well.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I will explain more how to use 1M by1M. So just give me a moment. Before I go into that, I want to ask you to let people know about 1M by1M. You know, the way we get people to come here and work with us is through word of mouth and through the propagation of the message of 1M by1M, of helping entrepreneurs succeed in any geography in the world. We can work with entrepreneurs anywhere in the world. So Uganda, Oslo, no problem. You can let people know that we are here to help. And resources are all at 1mby1m.com. You will find a terrific blog series that is free. The Entrepreneur Journeys book series is 12 books that are case study based. You can learn a lot from those. These roundtables happen almost every week, and you can come back as many times as you like. You can pitch once for free. After that, if you want to interact with me further, you would need to join the premium program. In the premium program, I meet with the entrepreneurs every week. So you have access to me on a weekly basis. There's extensive methodology guidance. We have a terrific curriculum where all these topics like, pricing are dealt with. You can learn what you need to learn there. We have an extensive elective module on e-commerce. So if you're building a niche e-commerce business, there is a tremendous amount of curriculum available that you can learn from. And it's all case study based. And of course, we help you with financing, but you have to reach the point where investors are willing to look at you. And in the meantime, we also have good understanding of all of these alternative financing resources, like what I was just offering to Martin to look at, like the Intuits and the American Expresses and the On Deck Capital in the case of niche e-commerce. There are other kinds of businesses have other kinds of financing available, but there is financing available even just as soon as you have some transactions going, there is potential for getting some financing. The self-assessment on our website is the set of due diligence questions that VCs would ask you. Please take a look. It is also a good strategic planning device for you. No matter whether you're going to VCs or not, you need to do good, solid strategic planning, and that's going to help you. We have a free bootstrapping course that's less than 1 hour long, and that's available on our blog. It's right at the top, and I recommend you do that. It's our mantra: bootstrap first, raise money later. We also have a lot of courses, 70 plus courses on Udemy based on the 1M by1M methodology. Tons of case studies, and you can learn from the who's who of the entrepreneurship universe, tech entrepreneurship universe. You can look at those. These are very, very amazingly reasonably priced. Our courses range from $40 to $100, let's say, in price. And Udemy offers discounts. We offer coupons, and they drop down. It depends on which geography you are in, but they do differential pricing. But you can get courses at 85% discount and so on. So people are buying a lot of courses. What we're seeing is people just go in and buy a whole chunk of courses and start learning. You can get our entire curriculum also on our website for $99 a month. And in the premium program, you have access to the curriculum as well. That is $1,000 a year. So go into the website, look at the program, what to expect from premium, what to expect from basic, FAQs, video FAQs, all of that is available. The curriculum is described in great depth, and our curriculum is entirely case study based. You're not just learning from me. You're learning from over 1,000 successful entrepreneurs who have worked with us and shared their journeys and their lessons from the trenches. That's what is unique about 1M by1M. No matter where you are, you're learning from very, very successful entrepreneurs. Our investor introduction policy is fully laid out on this link on the website. Please take a look if you're coming here for financing. Our philosophy is: do not go to investors as beggars, go as kings. Bootstrap first, raise money later. Bootstrap to a point where you can answer questions meaningfully and credibly so that you can show velocity in a credible way. And then that's when VCs engage with you and fund you. That's it. We have 4 roundtables, 2 in September, 2 in October coming up. That you can register for, and there will be more that we will be putting on the calendar shortly. We can take questions. If you would like to ask questions, you can call in, you can ask questions in the public chat. While you're doing that, let me introduce you to Irina Patterson. If you have questions about the program, Irina is your contact. Please email her. She'll also be happy to get on WhatsApp or Skype or phone with you. Let me know if you have questions. Anybody? Yes? No?
No, not.
You're good, Martin?
No, I'm not good. Yeah, I'm good. I have no questions. I take into account what you're saying, so I will work further with your input.
Great. Excellent. You have a very nice business. I don't see any reason why you can't make a big success out of it.
Thank you. I think at least we have a product that sells and have a kind of we also try to use a holistic view on this to also be helpful to people, which I know have big struggles a lot. So
good. Anybody else? Questions? No? No one has questions? Okay. If no one has questions, then we're going to wrap up, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.